And we are live. We'll be right back with you, Howlers.
Howls over Bass. I'm Ronnie Adams.
And I'm Jacob Casas. And this episode is called Lights, Camera, Action. And we have a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Andrea Gavidia.
Gavidia, is that how you say it?
Yeah, it was Gavidia, but most people can't say that, so Gavidia.
So where are you from?
I'm actually from LA. I know
LA.
we weren't expecting that. But I'm from LA, and my mom is Black. My dad is from El Salvador.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am from LA. I'm in the industry of acting. I've been pursuing that technically since I was a kid, but I didn't do it full on then. I went back and started that career again at 18. And since then, I've been just doing it on and off.
Okay. So, about 18. So,
I'm 35 right now.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I can ask that question, so I was waiting for that one.
I'm 35.
So
we're not supposed to be telling people our ages in the industry, okay? Because I need to be keep getting cast as a 15-year-old.
I was thinking like you're in your 20s for sure.
Well, good. You know.
You get 20-year-olds for sure casting roles.
I mean, I still get booked for like 15-year-old roles, so, you know. I mean,
really? That's good.
That's like the youngest I've been casted is 15.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you started out, Ronnie?
Tell us about growing up. We want to know about your livelihood, like, you know, your dreams and aspirations growing up. Like, you know, how was it? You know, did you always dream to be an actor when you were a kid?
I think it was just embedded in me because of the fact that I grew up in LA. And I grew up on like 7th and Normandy, and that area was like popular for like filming. Like they would always film in our building. I lived in the Langenham, which it was like 8 floors plus a penthouse. So they would throw like a lot of parties. So I would always sneak to the parties where all the celebrities were and just like go get autographs. And my mom even.
How old were you?
At that time, I was like 5, 6. Yeah, when I moved into Langenham, because we lived across the street, the Barclay. And then we moved across to the Langenham, and at that age, I think I was like 6. Actually, I was like 6, 7, and I think I moved from there when I was like 8 or 9.
Got you. So when you were a kid, that's when the dream was to be on the big screen.
Yeah, I think more so too. My grandparent, my grandma, and my mom, they watch soap operas, and as much as I hated it as a kid, I think once I grew up, I was like, I really want to just do that. Like, but I didn't know at the time that was like the same thing. But my mom actually put me in acting classes, and I went on a lot of auditions. Like, I even, like, you know how like back in the day they had like the Taco Bell, like the Chihuahua?
Yeah.
So I was a part of the crew where the kids were actually going to be the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But then that kind of fell through, and then they just used the dog instead.
Yeah,
so I used to come home with scripts like, you know, like when I think back of it, I'm like, God, those scripts are racist. Like, you know, because they were saying something like, oh, are you gonna cross the border? Like,
right,
you know,
right,
it's
right.
like, whoa. But as a kid, you don't know what you're reading. But as I reflect, I'm like, wow, that was kind of crazy.
It'd be all weird nadays, huh?
Yeah, like especially with cancel
Everybody's
culture.
so sensitive now. It's like,
Yeah.
Come on, relax.
Yeah, cancel culture. Cancel culture. It would not fly. But yeah, so I was a part of that crew, and then I also even was supposed to audition for the role of like Selena, the little girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I looked just like that little girl at that age, the one that played that. But I had, it's funny because I had more of a Spanish accent than she did. Like I spoke heavy Spanish.
Oh,
And that's because your dad being El Salvador.
Well, not really.
Salvadorian.
Yeah, I would say yes, but no, because my dad actually got deported when I was like 2 or 3. So I pretty much taught myself how to speak Spanish at 5.
Wow.
So like I lived in on 7th and Normandy, so it was like in Miss Hood. So it was I'm like, am I allowed to say this?
No, go ahead. Yeah, say whatever you want. Yeah.
I lived in the barrio. So I lived in pure like a Spanish neighborhood.
Chola.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Chola at heart, you know. I got to experience that side of LA. So I grew up in the MSSA hood, and
Damn.
yeah.
Southsider.
Ooh. And hey, my favorite number is 13.
Oh,
don't judge me. But my birthday's actually on the 13th, so that makes sense. But yeah, so I grew up in that hood, and all my friends were Latino. Like, a lot of black people didn't live in that neighborhood. I probably had like one black friend at that time. But my family was black, but I spoke fluent Spanish, and I pretty much spoke 90% Spanish because I was like always outside.
So you had to go through a little bit of part of your life without your father. How was this?
All my life.
All your life.
Wow.
But at the same time, like I was raised by my brother, so I actually moved from LA at 11, and I ended up living with my brother. So I was.
How many siblings do you have?
I had one brother and 2 sisters, but it's just me and my sister now, because both of those my other siblings passed already.
Oh, wow.
But I grew up with them. But I was a baby. My mom had me when she was like 42. So yeah, ladies out there, you don't have to wait. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But there is a risk though when you have kids older. But yeah, my mom had me when she was like 42. My dad was about the same age according to my birth certificate, and my siblings, my brother was 21 years older than me. My sister was 14, and then my sister that's still alive, she's 7 years older than me.
Wow.
So I was a baby. I grew up pretty much like when I was with my mom, not the only child, but like the only one in that age group. So.
But how's their support? Are they supporting you in your career?
Yeah, like they all helped raise me at some point, you know. My brother and sister were definitely like the elders. They were more supportive because that was like more of like they saw that for me, that vision. My sister that is still alive now, April, she has always been supportive, but she's just like, you should just get like a regular job because that's not like,
say that,
yeah, you know. But I get like how she doesn't. Well, now she understands, right? But I get how then she didn't understand because for her it was just like go to college, get a good job, and that was my grandma. She was like, just get a good job, like you know. That's it.
But you had bigger plans.
Yeah, I feel like that's the sacrifice, right? The sacrifice is like, yeah, I can go out and get this career, which I did go to Cal State LA. I didn't finish, but
congratulations on the
I
steps.
did get accepted to Cal State LA, and I did cheer there, and I did make amazing friends.
Well, you were a cheerleader too.
Yeah, I did cheer there, and I didn't stay for long. I was there for like a year, and but I just knew something else was more in store for me. And at the time, I just didn't understand like how to navigate through school at that age because I felt like I was in a deficient of like needing money. I didn't want to keep taking the bus. That was like the LA culture, like taking the bus. Like my mom never
still is.
Yeah, and you know it's so funny because I don't live in LA currently right now, but I do want to move back, and I want to move back for that reason to be able to like commute.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so my mom didn't have a license. She never had a car. Like, so for me and my sister to have gotten our like license at the age that we did, like I got my license at like 18, and my sister got hers at like 20 something. And my brother didn't get his till like 30 something. And then
I can't even imagine that. Because
yeah.
I was like 16 years old. I couldn't even imagine that.
Right, and my elder sister, she never got her license. So it's just like that was just like the normal thing in LA. But for me, I was always like independent, and I always wanted more.
So are you part of the Actors Guild?
I am SAG eligible, so I am not completely with SAG. I mean, I could pay the $3,000 whatever dollars it is right now. But I haven't. I just feel like I get the best of both worlds because once I become SAG, I can't do any projects that are non-union. So right now I get the benefits of getting paid on both ends.
So what kind of acting have you done? Has it been like Broadway type stuff, acting like in shows, commercials? Like what kind of acting have you done?
So I have done a variation of like being on sitcoms. I've been in movies. I've been on TV shows. Well, I said sitcom. TV shows, sitcoms, movies. I've done student films. I don't know what you would consider the ID channel, but I've been I've been in reenaction acting.
Anything you might have seen?
You have probably see. I haven't had any speaking roles on any of the major networks yet. So that is the goal. That is the goal, is to get that speaking role, to get everything up and running so that, you know, I get more exposure. But I do have a lot of credits on IMDb, and you can Google me.
That's what's
I already did.
Yeah,
I already seen it.
So I'm Googleable. I'm not known. I'm not a celebrity yet. You know, to me, it's not even about the celebrityism. It's just being a working actor and really like being able to articulate the craft. Because for me, that's just what it's about. I feel like as a kid, I've always wanted to do so many different jobs, but I feel like the best way to do that is through acting, because realistically I can't do every job.
And as long as you're alive, you still have that opportunity. You have actors at 60, 70, you know, so the sky's still the limit.
As an actress too, you have to have like a lot of emotion that's involved with what you do, right?
Yeah.
So like when you act, where do you like get that emotion from?
You know, I think that the best way is that they tell you is to find whatever you're acting relatable to yourself. So try to find something that makes that character relatable to you. And that's just pretty much what I do. And also, if it's not like you per se, someone that's close to you or anything that you've read or heard or anything of that nature. So that's just what I do. And you know, it may seem like, oh, you just get the script and you just read it, but you have to break down that script. You have to break down, okay, where is this taking place? Where time? Where is that? What mental state are they in? You know, so it's like, it's more than what people think it is.
Yeah, I know we get that. Because we ain't used to even this.
No.
We do. You know what I mean? Like, we just thought we were going to be BSing on camera, but it ain't that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a lot of study and yes.
Yeah, you have to break it down. You know, you have to be intentional. Because at first time, you know, when you're doing something, you're kind of just winging it. Like,
right.
and when I started off, I was winging it. You know,
right.
I wasn't a great actress. You know, and I'm not gonna say I'm the greatest right now. I'm developing greater skill as I go.
Have you done like plays or anything like that? Like, what kind of stuff?
I haven't done any plays yet, but I definitely have done a lot of background and a lot of feature principal roles and stuff like that.
Okay, so as a howler bass type thing, did you understand kind of the concept of that a little bit?
So a bad bitch? No, I'm just kidding.
like a bad
a respectable,
like, really?
a respectable bad bitch with class.
Yeah, so like, it's like we're trying to like kind of understand like, okay, 'cause I feel like a lot of creative people are already howlers in their own sense, because you gotta stand outside the crowd as a creative person, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you feel, a leader, howler, like creative person, like we'll go with that on you. What would you feel like a howler would be as a creative person, like as you, like what would you think that the traits you would need in order to stand outside the crowd and move forward as an actress or actor?
I definitely believe discipline is key, and as well as being intentional about what you want to do and taking in consideration of like doing the work, like going out of your way to figure out how you can perfect it. Investing, like I feel like investing is the major component, is like investing in the class, investing in this. I've helped a lot of people pursue acting in the sense of giving them the resources, but I've noticed that like a lot of people don't want to invest in the career, and I think that is so important because they compare and contrast other people that have gained success in the most like lucky way, but you have to remember that those people are not you.
Right. And
you shouldn't want your success to be off luck. You should want your success to be off intention, because just because you get this successful career doesn't mean it's sustainable if you're not practicing or preaching the art. So for me, that's what I believe that would consider what you're asking.
So as an actress, where are you most disciplined at? Like, where do you see yourself most disciplined as an actress?
As an actress, I believe I'm most disciplined in taking constructive criticism. I believe that a lot of people are so sensitive in these times and not able to take that in. So I feel like I'm willing and I'm ready for you to tell me, okay, this is what you need to do better. And then also being intentional. Like, why do I want to do this? Do I want to do this for the fame or the money? And if those are the two things, then you're doing it for the wrong reason, because let me tell you, ain't no money in it unless you're unless obviously like there's change in it when you're getting like, you know, residuals and you're on commercials and stuff like that, but the money that everybody wants is like celebrity salads.
Right.
You know, so if you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the fame, then it's not the right reason.
That's where I feel the biggest growth in our lives as people is learning to take criticism. because that's how you grow the most.
Mhm.
You know, seeing what I can do better, seeing where, you know, I can grow. You know, someone's telling me, like, and not sugarcoating it. That's how you grow the most. And life is able to take criticism. You know, you're not only growing in your business field, but you're growing in relationship. You're growing in every aspect when you're able to learn how to take criticism. So that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you too, like, why? I mean, we might as well get into this. I mean, this part, because I'm listening to what you're saying. So, you said a lot of people can't take criticism nowadays.
You're right.
Why do you think that?
Ego.
Yes.
I believe it's ego. I think that a lot of people have been around other people that have gassed them up in a way that they didn't deserve, and they're internalizing that attention, and they're having like imposter syndrome. And with that being said, it's like you're thinking you're like a 10 and you're like not even a 1.
Speak it.
And in real life, like I think that like me, I know, like, granted, like I know that I'm attractive, whatever, but I don't allow anybody else to tell me what I am. Like,
Don't be gassing me up. Don't
like,
pump me
no,
up.
you could gas
I
me
know
up.
my real.
No, you could gas me up.
I know it's real.
You could be like, you know, you could be like, oh my God, Andrea, like, you're so amazing. You could be like, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. But if you don't know yourself,
You know who you are. Don't
and you're going to get lost in that, and you're going to get caught up. Because you can, both of you could be like, oh, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. But if you never experienced me, and
Those are Baz's.
Yeah.
Baz dudes.
And they don't even
I'm
believe the
gonna give you
real.
this,
They
I'm
believe the
gonna give you
fake. They
that.
don't, whatever you say, they gonna believe it to pump themselves up.
But even the Baz dudes are gonna be saying,
Right.
I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna give you
Right.
that.
Right, because
They're
if,
not about none of that.
if you think about it, like, people receive good news more than they receive bad news. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like if you're gassing somebody up times 10, they're gonna take it in.
That
But if
was
you
a-
tell them like, oh, you suck, then they're like, no, I don't. Like, you know.
And
was
then they're
a
gonna say
Howler.
it's not how you. It's not what you said. It's how you say it. But they forget it's even what I said. Don't just look at how I said it. Go back to what I said also.
Right.
You know, because at that point, you know, I might have came off a little obnoxious, or I might have
Not
came.
me. I just like-
I might have came off too harsh. You know what I mean? But you know, even if I did, forgive me if I offended you. But still, pay attention and look what I said. You know, you can grow there too.
I think the key is not taking things personal. Like, I believe that we personalize so many things and internalize it to be what we are. But it's like, anybody can say anything to you, but if you don't know who you are, then you're going to be so confused in this world. So I was like, just know yourself. Like, I know that I'm not 100% every day. I know I don't wake up looking like this every day. You know, I know that. And even with that being said, I still love myself. I still care about myself. I still know that what I can bring to my own table. I know what I offer. And so, yeah, I just don't get caught up in the sauce. I don't get caught up in the hype and all that, especially for people that never experienced me. If you never experienced my love, you never experienced my care and all this stuff, then there's no reason for you to be able to hype me up to that extent. Now, granted, like, if you see my work and stuff like that, then yeah, that for sure speaks for itself. But in the sense of, like, you know, on a personal level, it's like, no, you can't really speak for me in that way because you haven't even experienced me. So don't let the hype kill you.
So what kind of experience you talking about? Like in that way? No, you know what I mean? Like in that way.
I don't know what you mean.
What way? What way? Never mind. Go ahead, Ronnie. You're up.
He's fluttered.
As an actress, is there any role that you hated or was difficult to get into? Let's start with the hated part. Is there?
I was
any
waiting
role,
for that one.
Yeah. Is there any role that you hated that you just took it even though you didn't like it?
I feel like I'm fortunate to not have that experience yet.
That's good.
I feel like every story that I've told was told because it needed to be told. So no, I have not experienced that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
what about difficult ones? Have you ever?
Difficult? I feel like, you know, acting is difficult in its own. I feel like it's always a challenge. I feel like if your job is not a challenge, what are you even doing that job for? So I feel like every time I get a script, because you got to think about it, you got to remember these lines, you got to remember the emotion to go with it, you got to remember your timing. So I believe that every job that I do is difficult. Even from the auditions, it's difficult. It's a lot of work.
How do you feel when you go into auditions?
I'm nervous, you know.
Always?
I'm always nervous, but I think that just shows you that it's something that you really care about. You know, it's something that like you're aware, like, hey,
you really want it then.
Yeah, you really want it, but it's like mind over matter, right? Like you're like, I'm nervous, but I either gonna, you know, drop the ball here, or I'm just gonna like I'm a you know, just keep going forward and wing it, you know, but with also the intention of like study, right? You want to study your art and your craft.
Now, going into these auditions to be an actress or an actor, what is that like? Like, did they tell you what you're, you know, basically what you about to perform, or how does that work?
Yeah, you when you have it, if you have an agent, your agent will run down like, hey, I found this gig for you for this production. This is what they're looking for. If you're self-submitting, they'll have like a description of what the role is and what you're expected to do, and they'll have a script. So it's not like you're blindsided unless.
So you have to have an agent.
You don't have to have an agent, but it's definitely better. Let me see. I had an agent. Right now I'm not. Right now I don't have an agent, so yeah. You're looking for representation, no. But yeah, no.
She ready for y'all agents out there.
I did have an agent, and you know they were a new agency, so they really weren't able to like.
So they sucked. That's what you're trying to say. Go ahead, put them on blast.
No, it's just
you
that
sucked, whoever it was. Whack ass agent.
They weren't able to help me, and this was like years ago. This was like back in the day when like someone like me wasn't like on TV. When I say someone like me, like nowadays, like you see a lot of diversity. Yeah. But back when I started at 18, it was not that diverse. Yeah, it was not that many roles for women like me, because they didn't even know what I was. Like, you know, they're like, "Are you black? Are you Mexican?
What are we working with here?
Yeah, who are you? You know?"
Yeah, real quick, I want to do a shout out to Diamond Studios. I appreciate you guys, man, killing it for us, Diamond Studios. And just to know, we're on YouTube and Facebook, so come check us out. houseofourbads.com.
You're looking out.
So keep going on yours.
Yeah, so is it hard to find an agent? You know, I know it's a lot of inspiring actors and actresses out there. So how difficult it is to find a good agent? You
know, I would say if you're in... So typically this is how it works. When you're good, you pretty much get an agent finds you, right? So like that's how it happened. I originally got my agent, is they just found me. But you have to be nowadays. I feel like because it's so saturated with social media, you have to go out and vet for one.
Right.
I have an agency book, and I just kind of go through it sometimes and like submit my my portfolio and stuff like that. And it's hard if you're not following the instructions, because in that industry, it's like, you have to do it like exactly how they say. And if you don't do it exactly how they say, they're just gonna discard your headshot.
Do you have any friends that are actors and actresses?
Yeah, friends. All of a sudden, you got friends.
I know a lot of. I want to say friends.
Not like I'm asking because
he's a take it bad. I just
this day and age, I don't mean nothing. Taken.
All of a sudden, he's blushing.
He don't know he don't know me like that. No, I'm just kidding.
First of all.
But anyway, going back to that, and the reason I'm asking is because birds of a feather flock together, and you guys can help one another if you're in the same field. And
right.
Look out for each other.
And maybe I'm naive to not. I don't want to say naive. Maybe I've just been like low key about my, journey of acting. Like, I know people that are successful actors that we work together in the same restaurant, and now they're like, working actors. I have, I wouldn't say friends, but like, yeah, I have people that I know that are in the industry that are successful in the industry. But on that level, no, we're not working together. But maybe that's something that I need to reach out for and be like, hey, I'm struggling. Come help me.
Network.
Yeah, maybe yeah. I'll do that.
Definitely.
So, on some of the self-sacrificing that you had to do within this. So, I mean, obviously, like being an actor or actress or anything in the creative field, you have to like put a lot of like your feelings to the side because you have to just make things happen because you have to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that for you?
I think because I started at the age that I did, it was kind of like it was difficult at first because you're getting rejected. It's like, in the hood, I'm hot. I'm everybody, but in Hollywood, it's like, girl, like, we need more. So I just think that humbles you in a way where you're like, okay, I just have to work harder for myself to stand out, basically. So the rejection sucked, especially too, like I've been called to auditions for not really the audition. Like someone running
so what does that mean?
That means like, oh, I'm reading the script and I'm like, this doesn't sound like this would be for me because it sounds like it would be for a white girl, but whatever, I'm gonna just read the script. I'm gonna maybe.
Why do you think they did that?
So like I went to this audition and they had me audition, and then at the end he's like, oh, can you wait behind? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And he's like, hey, I just wanted to say, you read the script, right? And it's like for a white girl, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I did notice that, but I just decided to just, you told me to come, so I came. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to see if I could take you out for dinner.
Damn.
So yeah, I was like,
thirsty
yeah.
trap.
That's kind of a lame thing too. Like, don't they feel like lame's doing that shit? Like, I don't know.
He looked at your picture and said, "Okay, let me see if I can get her in here."
That'd be lame as hell. Though.
Waste her time.
Yeah, it was. I've had that so many times, So it is. This industry is tricky, right? So it's just like you gotta come.
Is that when you were younger too? Like I feel like a lot of people back then were just doing lame stuff.
Yeah, it was when I was younger. I was like in my 20s.
Yeah, they still doing that though. Like even now, it seems more like, hey, dude, like you're lame as hell. Like you can't be still doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't had that experience lately yet. So thank God.
Yeah, I can see that now. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, go.
So as an actress, what was one of your memorable moments? Can you look back and tell us of anything that you just can't forget?
Well, I'll say two. So I worked on two sets. One was in 2010. I don't know, but I worked on Janky Promoters with Ice Cube and Mike Epps and Young Jeezy, and that set was so cool. Like Ice Cube. He was so nice. Like even the production wasn't that nice, but he went out of his way to make sure like we were comfortable. I was casted as one of those like background girls, and
you were
like
dancing.
No, I wasn't dancing. I was a part of Young Jeezy's crew. So in one of the scenes where we're in his dressing room. So, but yeah, like he was very respectful, and they were trying to make us sit on something like a treasure chest. Treasure chest. I have my Invisaligns on, my bad. And he was like, no, get them a real chair. Like, treat them like women. Like, treat them like human beings. So he had them do that. I was like, that's kind of cool. Because, never know in this industry. Like,
gave you a good experience.
Yeah, a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, years later, I worked on Insecure. I worked with Issa Rae. And that whole production was just like so amazing. Like everything, they just took care of you. And I noticed that a lot of black sets are like that.
So I want to get into this. So like, because you speak real well, right?
Oh,
so,
thank you. Opposed to what?
And you can tell.
Opposed to what?
Well, you're a confident person. Like you know what I mean. You're confident. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, as a woman, like, how is the dating life as what you do and as the person you are?
Uh-huh.
How is your dating life? Like, what do you look for in a man for you when you date?
I went on a whole like journey of like dating. I actually recently went on a date, but
Was he a Baz? Was he a Baz? Put it out there. Was he a Baz? Like, hey, were you a Baz dude? I didn't know.
He gonna watch this soon.
Just say it.
I just
was
feel
he a
like
Baz or was he a Howler?
He want him.
Which one? You gotta pick one.
Would you go on?
He was a Baz.
No.
If he ain't saying it's a Howler right away,
yeah,
he was a Baz.
Would you go on another date with him? No.
So Baz in it.
Yeah.
We went on 2 dates, and the second date I was just like, yeah, no. I just feel like with dating, what I look for is someone that's just themselves. Honestly, like show up as who you are, and if that aligns with me.
So he wasn't himself.
Date 2, you learn a lot about people.
Yeah.
You know,
So you got to go on a second date in order to see the real them. Maybe a third.
You have to go on multiple
yes.
dates. You had to like just take the pressure off. Like you're like, hey, I'm just getting to know you, and I think that a lot of people just want to rush into their emotions, you know, and it's not even that, like, because you change, if you notice, you change your mind all the time, like, you know, today I might like you, tomorrow I might not, like, you know, but it's only, it can be like that if you don't give yourself the time to just get to know somebody. I think that's just like a lost art. It's like people just want to rush into becoming a wife,
especially when we get more mature.
Yeah, and people want to rush into getting in your pants, like, you know. So it's like women want to be your wife so bad, and men want to get the draw so quick. Like, so it's just like you have to find a balance, and I feel like, or not, I won't even say a balance, but have to learn how to, like, you know, tip the scales. You know, learn how to how to serve each other. And I think becoming friends is a lost art, and I think that's just like the most important thing. Like, if you notice your friendships, how well they thrive, why not incorporate that with someone of the opposite sex or whatever sex you choose to date, to go in that way too, like, you know, and treat people with kindness. Like, I think people just don't know how to be kind to other people because they lack that for themselves.
That's good. That's
so
great.
Being creative as you are though, like, so, I mean, we're actually going to be doing a dating podcast.
Okay. I mean, that's smart.
Right?
We'll bring you back if you want to.
We want to get really deep into that.
Okay.
But, I mean, shoot, maybe even come on for that one too, right?
Okay.
But what I mean is, like, people have different, like, ideas when they date, right? Mm-hmm. So you being a creative person,
right,
even the way you speak, talk, the way you're kind of like forward with things. Mm-hmm. What do you look for though, when you're talking to these men? Mm-hmm. What do you look for in them? Like, because creative people do not look at people the same. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation, right? Yeah. You're creative. You have, like, especially you've been an actress, you have so many things going on in your mind, the way you see things, the way you view things. I mean, you guys are in emotions a lot.
Right.
I'm not saying in a bad way of emotions either. Like, it could be any type of emotional state, right? Mm-hmm. So what are you looking for? What do you see when you're in that?
I believe I just look at how you act, the things that you say. And I think I take, like, I think I have selective memory because I remember stuff. I remember certain things, like, you know.
The bad things are. Is it all the bad things, like, in the typical?
No, I just remember, like, I just kind of, like, just pay attention to, like, your mannerism, how you speak, how you move, how you talk, like, your foundation, like, where did you come from, how were you raised, like, you know, what were you... You know your truth. Like,
you're dialing everything in.
Yeah, I'm just, taking in consideration of, like, who you are. But just, giving you grace because we're human. Like, you're not going to find, or let me say you're not going to find somebody that's perfect. But you're not. Like. I'm
right here. I'm him.
Well, yeah, then
I
don't want perfection because
I'm just kidding.
I'm a menace sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
You could be a menace and still, and that still could be perfect.
Menace to society.
That could be perfect for somebody.
While drinking gin and juice. I think that you just got to see how people move. Like, watch how people move, how, people just act and react. I can sense, like, I think I pick up on a lot of energy. And this might sound like hocus pocus, but it's true. Like, I just pick up on your energy. If I feel like you're overstimulated because I come in the room and, and then I feel like you can't control yourself, then I'm like, oh, okay.
Bad, isn't it?
I'm like, that's kind of scary. Like, why do you have this much energy? Like, for me, like.
That does happen often. Damn.
I'm like, calm down. Really? I'm human. I'm just.
Are they barking too? Like, damn.
Man, I need to do a skit where it's just like, no, just kidding. But no, like, I just feel like that's, and then two people, like, you just have to see how people act because they'll try to love bomb you, and if you don't know yourself, you're just gonna eat it all up.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
They tell you they love you in like day 2 and 3.
Man. It's like,
that's an inside joke between me and him. I got a question for you.
Sure.
As an actress, what are the things that you wish were different in your industry?
I believe that I wish that it wasn't so segregated. Like, in the sense of, like, culture rise, like, you know, wise. Jesus. I wish that it wasn't separated or segregated as much as it is. I believe that it sucks for like a show that has a cast of like mainly black people that it to be casted, oh, that's a black show, or a movie that's, you know, like Tyler Perry, like it gets that backlash, like, oh, it's a black production, so it's not gonna strive and, you know, excel as opposed to, you know,
I get it.
the other.
So I was dating somebody for a little bit, right? And,
Uh-huh.
and her family was in the movie industry, and she was saying that that on the black cast, they almost cast the same people all the time. It's like a normal thing in that industry, and it's hard for them to get anybody new. Even if they want it, they can fight for it, and at the end of the day, they still can't get them.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is in that industry.
Yeah, I think they look at it as a risk because they're like, it's familiar to them, you know. And then they have with black artists or black talents, they don't necessarily have, when they're first starting, they don't have the same support as their other counterparties, like, so they don't have people like really pushing for them as you know, the black people, the black talents.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't see no Mexicans in movies hardly anyways. It's probably like the same ones. So, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'm saying like,
I get it.
They always pick the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really realize it until she was telling me all this. I'm like, what? I didn't even realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you'll see like in certain movies, especially a black movie, you'll see like the same husband and wife play that role over and over again. You're like, wait, we're getting fed the same story over and over again. But it's because of that, you know, the culture of it. They don't really like to take too many risks with.
Because I mean, you know, certain people own the industry. That's why. So they only want certain people in the industry. We all get that. That's just the way the world works. But sometimes you got to break out of that.
Yeah, and I think that's where, you know, showing up, being consistent, because I look at it like this: if you're consistent and you keep going and you keep doing what you need to do, no one can block you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, no one. Like, you're gonna come in there and tear that door down. Like, they're gonna make a way for you.
Yeah, we believe that 100%.
Yeah.
Because we don't care.
No.
When nobody says so.
Yeah. So, but if you cry about it, like, oh, they're not gonna make. They don't make, you know, opportunities for people like me. Yeah, they don't. So create it. Like, put yourself out there. Keep going. You know, make your own movies. Do something. Be, you know, and honestly, like, if you think about it, like, a lot of the successful black people now are successful because they created their own wave. So they started their own production. They started their own YouTube. They started their own, you know, Instagram, and they went viral. And they kind of forced those people to put them in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And now look at them thriving.
Yeah.
So that's
I'll force the way in.
Right. Are you doing the best you can to force your way in?
Right now, I wouldn't say I am. I feel like I'm juggling so much with going to school. I have daughters, and as well as acting. So I believe that I'm.
You said daughters?
I have 2 daughters.
Nice.
Yes, I have 2 girls. Yeah. So I feel like the rest of this year, this is my like go hard or go home year, and from there keep striving.
You're juggling everything right
now. Yeah.
That's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how it should be. You know, entrepreneurship is more than just I'm just doing one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called entrepreneurship.
Right.
You know, I have to provide in many different ways to succeed in this life.
Right.
So yeah, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, no, I'm trying.
So I'm gonna ask a personal question.
And now we're going on a break.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about finances. So tell us about
the money.
Yeah, tell us about what's the biggest what's the most money you've ever made on a job, on a gig when it comes to acting?
It varies. I believe I got paid the most when I worked on JV Promoters. I didn't really work that many. Like, I probably worked back in that day, like, and at 8, how old was I? Maybe like 18-ish or a little bit older than that. I think I worked like 2 weeks on that production, but not a full 2 weeks. Like, here, like, you know, maybe like 1-2 days this week and then another 2 days that week. And I think my total checks were like over $3,200.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
for 1 or 2 days, I need that type of
money. It was
money.
like 4 days. So,
well, for 4 days, I'm willing to make $3,200 in 4 days.
Yeah, so it was good. I got paid really well. And I believe, like, you know, it's still like that. well, I won't say still like that, but there's still a lot of opportunity in that sense. Like, especially if we book a commercial, there's residuals. So that's the goal. Everyone wants to be in a commercial so they can get that residual or be on a.
So have you done any commercials?
I've done commercials, but not as the main character to get residuals yet. So that is the goal, you know.
Any gigs people can go look at you on YouTube to see like some of your skills?
I've done student films,
Okay.
so I think there's something on YouTube with student films. But if people just look me up, they'll see like all my
what's on
credits.
there.
And you know, it's funny because like there's things that I've done and I wouldn't even think anybody would recognize me, but I get so many DMs and like, oh my god, I saw, you know, this, I saw you in this, I saw you in that, or is this your picture? Someone took it, you know. So it's a hit and miss. I've done so much that there's things I've done I don't even know. So I'm pretty sure like once I make it in the sense of like being known, there's gonna be so many things out there and I'm like, oh well what was that at when I
Right.
needed to add it to my reel? Like,
Definitely.
you know. So
being a strong woman, right? Because you can obviously
I'm
tell
soft.
you're a strong woman. Nah, you're
soft.
strong. You can tell. straight
I'm
up.
fragile.
So I wanted to ask you, God fearing,
Um,
right? So God fearing is literally on top of our list of howlers, right?
mhm,
So for you,
mhm.
being a strong woman, you have to have some type of foundation.
Right.
So where are you a God fearing woman? Where's God in your life? Is he in your
Yeah,
life?
of course. I believe in God. I believe that, you know, I believe there's a higher power. I believe, you know, I go to that space every day. Like, I am not afraid of my emotions. Like, I probably cried before I came here. like I'm always tapped into that, because then it's more so like, hey, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I feel. Guide me and tell me what I need to be doing, because I can only do what I think I'm supposed to be doing. But I feel like the more I pray, the more I, you know, journal or be intentional about my faith, it still directs me into this career. And no matter where I end up, like whether it's directing, because I want to direct too, or just playing, you know, just acting, I'm always going to be in this industry no matter what.
So you do believe this is your purpose?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. I think this is my purpose, to reach people so that I can.
How do you want to reach them?
I want to reach them in the way to like have them check in.
Well, I'm saying, if you had your way, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you had complete control of how you wanted to reach somebody,
Mm-hmm.
how would you want to reach them?
I would just be like, I think reaching people would, in the sense, like, what do you mean? Like
In a is it a spiritual way? Is it a way of value? Is it like what kind of way? If you had your way to say, hey, this is my production,
mm-hmm.
this is what I'm doing, I'm gonna act in this. How would you want to reach somebody?
I think I would just start off with like, how are you? Like, honestly, like, what do you need in order for you to succeed in life? Like, what is it that you're missing, and how can I service you to get to that place? So that would be my way of helping people.
So you're a woman of service.
Yeah, definitely. I would be like, what is it what's going on? Like, I feel like a lot of us mask a lot of things, and a lot of us have trauma and struggle with so many different like emotions that we don't even know how to like deal with it. But I feel like a lot of people that are not like, you know, a lot of people who are not like aware of it are the ones that are struggling the most. So I think having that conversation with people, like, hey, like if I had my own show, I would be like, how are you? Like in real life, and like what is it that you need in order for you to get wherever you want to be? Like, are you happy? I think that's just, and it probably sounds so like cliche.
No, because your goal is to be a director, so you have that opportunity as a director to be one-on-one with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and get into.
But more so, why?
Because I feel like it's a service. It's kindness. It's like we have all this opportunity and everybody doesn't have the same reality. And if I can bridge that gap to plant some sort of happiness in someone's life to where they can take on the throne to like create it for themselves as well, then that's what life is all about. It's like helping thy neighbor, you know, if we want to be technical. I think like we should just be so considerate of each other and help one another strive to be the best that we can be.
Most people don't think like that.
Yeah, I know, but that's...
Yeah, but it's crazy. That's the first thing that came to her mind.
Right.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, but I just think that, you know, a lot of people are so stuck in like fight or flight and they don't know how to get out of that.
Like survival.
And I think
And you're thinking serve.
yeah.
That's like a real woman type of way of thinking.
Characteristics.
Like a strong characteristic of a woman. Because we don't hear that hardly ever.
I'm like, I'm strong, but I still need to be taken care of. I'm strong because I have to be, I think all of us have to be strong, right? But at the same time, you still need care. Like, I always say this, like, if you believe in God and you believe in higher power and you live by that reality, then you will take in consideration that we are all a child of God, right? So with that, it takes a village. And no matter what age you are, you need support. You need people. And as much as people want to deny people access to their lives, I feel like that's doing a disservice to yourself, because you're blocking out that very element that will help you strive to be greater than what you are. So.
And you got 2 daughters, so they have something. You have to be an example for them as they grow.
Yeah.
And you have to teach them how to be servants too, also.
Yeah, of course. You just want to be able to be happy. And I know I keep saying like it sounds cliche, but it's not.
I don't sound cliche.
But I know a lot of people, I had a teacher before in college, and she was like, "Oh, it's so cliche to say you want happiness." But I'm like, no, it's not. It's what's the point of this life if you can't create some type of happiness for yourself and others?
I mean, we were talking about this too. Like, I feel like happiness is more of a feeling. I feel like, there's always moments to be happy, but I feel like peace is
everything.
Like number one. And then you're going to have moments of happiness. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a pursuit of happiness. But at the same time, I feel like peace is a better pursuit.
Definitely.
And then there's always going to be moments of happiness, though.
But you need happiness also, because at the end of the day, if you don't make me happy, why are you here? If I don't make you happy, why are you here?
But you could have a fullness, like a full of happiness. You could be a fool and still be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can.
So I kind of look at it as I feel like a lot of the times you need to have peace, and then happiness. It can need to be a real happiness, not just a foolish happiness.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I don't know. We got off the subject.
No,
it's totally
damn.
No, I agree. I just think that everything needs its place. Like, everything is like, in order for me to function, I need all these elements to work within themselves. And even though people say a balance, but I don't even believe there should be a real balance. I feel like you should always be, like, how there's a scale, right? So it's like the scale is like, well, what is that scale called? Like, the scale for like where you weigh things, and it's like the Libra scale.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that scale, like, I think it should always be like this. It should always shift. Like, I feel like at some point there should be like a balance like this, but I think you should always be shifting within that, because that means you're growing and you're learning, because life is not perfect. I feel like there's moments of perfection.
Definitely.
And we strive for that. But I feel like once we've reached that, there's another level that we have to unlock.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And you can't get too complacent and too,
Right. Yeah. I feel like when you reach your growth is when you are no longer here. And you're not here to tell the story.
I wanted to ask you, so like leadership, right? So do you feel like you're a leader?
I believe so. I'm a Leo. I know that's hocus pocus.
I'm talking to you. I can feel like you are a leader.
Yeah, I believe
in
so.
what you do.
Yeah, I believe that I lead in so many different ways, but also I can take a step back to let somebody else lead where they're stronger at. Like, I know I'm adaptable.
Finances, not just.
If you want to be my supporting
system. Yes, I'm like, there you go, bang. You can take the lead in that, baby.
Yeah, you can lead all day.
But yeah, like, I'm adaptable. I'm like, whatever you want, if it aligns where I'm at, then hey, we can make this work. Whether it's friendships, whether it's business, whether it's relationship, I feel like in every dynamic.
That's what's up. No, I wanted to go to this too, though. So, courageous, right? Courageous is a big thing that we talk about a lot in the show. We ask a lot of guests this, right? So, in order to be courageous, you have to have fear.
Yeah.
So, tell us at some point in your life where you felt like you had to be the most courageous. So, you had to battle the most fear in order to be courageous.
I'm gonna do my Kanye, like, give me a moment to think.
Did you have to put your income, your money into your business, into starting? Were you nervous then?
Yeah, I feel like this career path is full of career. It's crazy. Like, if you think about it, like, to pursue a career like this on a whim, and thank you.
And then you put yourself out there, like literally yourself.
Right. You're
like it's not like you're just like, hey, here's my business. So it's you. You're the business.
Yeah, I think every time I'm putting myself out there, that's me being courageous. Like, it's a fear, but it's a fear. You have the feeling of fear, but that doesn't overtake the real journey. It doesn't overtake where I want to go in this career path. So I feel like I'm always courageous. Like, this journey in itself, like, it's always going to be that, because you're putting yourself out there and you're being showcased, and people are going to criticize you no matter what. There's gonna be people that love what you do. There's people that are gonna hate what you do. But at the end of the day, you have to sit with yourself and decide whether or not what you're putting out there is worthy of yourself.
I want to cuss right now. I want to say F them, basically. Like, who cares? Like, we don't care. We know that, though.
Right.
Because, I mean, a lot of the times is a lot of, like, the people that support you are strangers.
Mm-hmm.
They're the biggest supporters.
Definitely. We talk about
friends
this all the time.
don't ever say nothing until it's too late, until we don't need them anymore. Yeah. Like, I needed your support earlier. What happened to that?
You know, I don't. I look at it like, I don't lean too much on people that are as close to you as your support system, because they can't see the vision the way you can. And sometimes it's going to take them a while to get on board. And whatever reason, that's their reason. And I can, you know, be over here consumed with your energy. Like, oh, this person's not supporting me. They're not sharing my stuff. Like,
but it do feel good when they just say, you know what, I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you.
Well, it's weird when they watch it all. That's the worst part. Like, why are you watching it? Stop watching it.
It's of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, turn it off.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's of course, but I think that when you go off and you tell people you want to do this,
I want to call them out. I want to be like,
really?
I'm ready to call everybody out. Like, it is what it is, man.
Me, I'm the opposite. I'm like,
I cheer mine on.
Yeah.
If I see someone that's taking a step in life to better themselves and better their family, it's I feel, this is just how I feel it's my responsibility to let them know that I do support you. I'm praying for you. I hope that, you know, that everything works out, and let them know that I'm there for them.
Well, you knew I was like that too, until after a while I didn't give it. I don't care anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna call everybody out to their face because I think it's funny. Like, I like maybe people feel uncomfortable. So let's feel uncomfortable right now. You know what I'm saying?
You're
like,
toxic.
Let's get uncomfortable right now.
You're toxic. I look at it like, those people are not your target audience.
Nah,
they're not. No.
You know,
Yes,
so they're not gonna make you or break you.
No.
So,
but they're gonna be there with their hands out with
afterwards, like always. And that's how many times that happened.
And you can send them to the county line. Like, nope, this is not the government.
No.
You will not get your EBT over here.
That's right.
Even if y'all want to give me some EBT, no, just kidding.
We pay for those. No, just kidding.
But yeah, like I feel like you killed them with kindness. Like Beyonce said, the best revenge is your paper. Like, if you let that fester in you, it's gonna just keep you off track. I just be like, hey, one day you gonna come around, and at the end of the day, like, you wasn't here when was supposed to be here. You're not gonna be here when you not supposed to be here. That's just the way I look at it. So I don't.
Them steak and eggs and that shrimp gonna look real good on their Instagram. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
He said, I want revenge and I want it now. Me, I'm like,
really, he doesn't really care. Like, he does. But if we're in front of each other, I would just call him out. It's just funny to me. Like, just
you know, I used to be crazy. Like, I used to be toxic. Like, you know, I used to
but it's gotta be toxic though.
Because it's just like addressing something you already know, right? And they know, but y'all both playing dumb to it. But now you're addressing it like, so you didn't like my post?
Oh no, I don't go like that. Nah, that's lame. I won't do that. I won't go that far. I'll just be clowning them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, you don't like my stuff. It's okay. I know you be fantasizing about me.
Oh, damn. That's how you really feel.
I was like, I know you really do like me a lot. You just can't show it because you're not secure with yourself. I get it.
I like that. So we'll go to the next one. The creative spark. We gotta hit that.
Talk about it.
So like all the creative people we bring in,
Mm-hmm.
all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always ask them where their creative spark comes from, and what do they believe is their biggest creative spark. That's part of them.
I would say my creative spark is my personality. Like, I just think that I am a people's person and I love people, and I think that the best way to get in the minds or the hearts of people is to be presentable in that way. To, I feel like with acting, you can tell so many different stories and people be relatable. Like, and I think that there's so many untold stories that need to be told and need to be put to light. That's where my creative spark comes into play. It's like, I want to tell this story. I want you to feel me. Like, and I want to feel you too. I want to understand what you're going through and your struggles and your trauma. And I want to showcase that.
That's what's up.
That's good.
Yes, that's great. That's definitely great. I don't know how much longer we got, but
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Let's
That went fast.
yeah, it went fast.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Never
I'm so
for
bad.
me.
I'm never gonna come back.
I don't get down like
Yeah,
that.
you're
but-
coming back for the dating episode. Don't force her out.
They gonna say
That
that was fast.
He laughing.
So, okay, well, we might as well just cut this one. So let's see, like, love. We got 3 minutes. Let's do love. So, like, how do you feel about love? Do you think love exists? Do you think love's real?
I think that's a lot of what we lack. Love is love, and I think that people try to minimize it. And love is definitely real. This is love, like this is love right here. Like, it exists, whether you believe it or not. And you waking up every day to like take care of yourself. That's love. But I think that people need to be more intentional with the love. They need to really like do the things that they really love and not do things that sound good for other people. If you want to do a career like this, do that career, but it doesn't make you less than because you're not working at a firm or wherever that may look that looks like good on paper. So yes, I definitely believe love it exists.
This is our side hustle, by the way. Don't think that we just do this only.
I only do this.
He lying.
That's all I do.
He lying, but go ahead.
But yeah, no, love is important, and I feel like it's lacked. And definitely, do some self-love, guys, because it is important. This is why the world is so mixed with so many different energies, because people are not loving on themselves and others.
I get it.
Yeah, I like that one.
The ultimate question.
So, like, wipe everything away.
Okay.
The money, the cars, the clothes, everything you are, right?
Okay.
Who is Andrea? Who are
Andrea is.
Tell us who you are.
I am this spirit. I'm everything, honestly. I am love. I am light. There's dark to me. There's compassion. There's kindness. There's forgiveness. There is nurturing. I am so many different things that we would be here all day if I was to just tell you who I was. But yeah, stripped away, I'm me. I'm authentically me. Like, despite like how other people may view me or whatnot, I show up as myself, and I hold myself accountable to that.
That's everything.
Do you love who you are?
I'm obsessed with myself.
That's good.
That's good, yeah. So do the
House of a Bass. I'm Ronnie Adams.
and I'm Jacob Costas. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And we're out.
We're out. Shed the sheep.
Shut the sheep.